Hello everyone, welcome. Keep those comments coming. I enjoy every single one of them. I reply to as many as I can. Actually, I reply to those that I think I need to reply to, but I do thank all of you who have such nice things to say and how much you enjoy them. I also thank you for your contributions, and please keep subscribing and sharing especially, but keep your comments coming. I enjoy them. Okay, today this is going to be a very short video because I'm going to react to reactions. Reactions to what happened in the United States and the election and the results and so on. And we see all this. I must tell you, I do not actually, probably like most of you, don't spend a lot of time looking at these reactions because sometimes they're amusing, but sometimes, most of the time, they're sad. But sometimes watching something else, they will say, oh, look, an example of reactions and so on. You have no alternative but to see it. And some of them, most of the ones I see, I don't take very seriously. I think they're sad, but I think they're just posing for the most part. Okay, you remember the those old photographic machines. We still have them in supermarkets, and when as young people, we used to go with our friend and take pictures of the two of us together with silly faces and your tongue out and so on there, and then you click, and then the four little pictures came out, and we had a good laugh and so on. I think that this is the equivalent, okay, that young people are just sort of it's like a selfie. Sometimes they take selfies of themselves doing this, doing that, and singing and dancing and so on. Sometimes they take selfies of their emotions, not just the face. Okay, so this is a selfie of how they are feeling at the time. Why they would need to show their feelings, well, that takes us into a different direction, because that is also something to do with the lack of privacy that young people no longer have. When we talk about privacy, they look at us sort of, what's wrong with putting your life there on the internet? Okay, so that's a different question, but I think for the most part they are just posing, okay? But we have to deal also with the fact that some of them, especially television commentators, actually do feel, and they believe it. They're practically tearing their hair out, thinking that this is evil, that this person or this political party or whatever is the end of the world, and they actually believe that. Some of them actually, the loathing and the hatred that they feel is real, and I don't think they know how to deal with that. So that is what I want to address. From the 60s, we live in a hedonistic society, okay? We were invited to believe that life was for you to just have a good time, enjoy yourself. You remember in the 70s, it was famous that, just think positive. Don't dwell on those terrible negative emotions that are going to make you morose and sad. And just think positive. This is a mistake, as we all know by now, yes, because life is about positive emotions and negative emotions that are part of the human existence, of the human experience. And you cannot just put your negative emotions and in a closet and forget about them. They are there, yeah. Fear, anger, whatever it might be. It's not a question of you don't wanting to see them or hear them or put them in this closet, because they're not going to go into any closet. They're going to stay inside, deep inside, and the more you repress them, the more they brew inside, and then they're going to explode, perhaps in in ways that are worse than actually having looked at them in the face to begin with and say, okay, I am fearful because of this. Just like I accept a cold. I have a cold, so I have a cold. That's it. I'm having a cold, Okay, so this is how I feel about this. And then I have to deal with that. But what I cannot do is to ignore it. Positive and negative feelings are part of the human existence. Psychologists tell us that with this hedonistic society of me, and so on, that now these mental health issues, everything, these upsurging mental health issues and so on, and they point to anxiety and depression and so on. Okay. I think we have gone beyond that, actually. I think anxiety, okay, you can have a healthy anxiety. You have a problem you don't know how to deal with. You know that, okay, the usual example, that bill is coming, you can't pay it and so on. Okay, that worry, that concern, that anxiety. Fine. But even if it is anxiety and not healthy anxiety, it still deals with a concern or with a worry that you have about what is coming, what is coming in the future, or not knowing what is there at the present. But I think we have gone beyond that, and now it's a question of dislocation from reality. It's a question of disassociation, disorientation in the human being. It's no longer, oh my God, how am I going to deal with this? But it's more like, what is happening? Who I am? Who am I? What am I here for? Who I am? What? Not even knowing how you interact with the rest of the universe. In other words, you're there in this universe with your feelings, and that's it. You remember that example about the little twig, that grows into a tree and is deeply rooted. And when the roots are strong, the branches can deal with, going in this direction, the other with the wind and everything. But eventually because of the deep roots, they come to the center. The tree is strong enough, the roots are strong enough to deal with any circumstances. And now it's like there are no roots, okay, deeply rooted, and we are sort of like branches, or even worse, leaves, just floating around everywhere without a center. Everything is fluid, without solidity, without center, without firmness. And we hear about the fluidity, the fluidity of gender, okay, the fluidity of mind, the fluidity of spirit, the fluidity of life. In other words, no solidity, no roots, no firmness there. The emphasis is about enjoying yourself, entertaining yourself. Don't get bored, always do something. Okay, this is an emphasis on this only positive emotions. So when things happen, as they do happen in life, that brings pain and suffering, younger people don't know how to deal with them, because that's not supposed to be what life is about. Life is about enjoying yourself and being occupied, entertained. They don't know, they're not armed to deal with the wounds and the injuries and the pains of life. And so suffering and pain, they just don't know how to deal with it, with negative emotions. And because of this, I think that creates an inner conflict that is that they don't know how to deal with it. That inner conflict. I don't know, with this combination of emotions, it seems as if they're not willing, no, they're not capable, they are unable to accept the whole range of human experience, the whole range of human existence. When you have things that don't go your way, when you have problems, when you have pains and injuries and wounds, that is not the problem in life. That is not the problem, the wounds. The problem is that you don't accept them, and so those wounds cannot heal. They do not heal. They do not close up. It's not that you have an injury, it's that you don't know how to accept it in order for it to cure. Let me give you an example. If you have a cut in your finger, okay, it's going to bleed, fine, you have a wound, an injury there, okay, fine. It will start curing itself, healing, okay, and eventually you will have when it has cured and the cut has closed up completely, you will have a little scab or something, and then you can, when it's totally cured, you can flick the scab away, okay? The problem is that if you don't let it cure, if you try to get rid of the scab before it is cured, it's going to open again the wound, yeah? So you have to accept, as I say, it's not the wound and the injury and the pains that you're going to suffer. Is that you, by not looking at it, by not accepting the pain and the suffering, okay, you are not allowing it to heal. That's the problem, not allowing it to heal. Everybody goes to the grave with scars. No one goes to the grave with, no dents, no wounds, it's, if you buy a car today, bright and shiny, after a year, in my case, probably after a month, you have 5-10 years, the car has dents, it has things, okay, and those wounds and injuries leave scars. The problem is that if you have not accepted that, look at it, try to cure it and to heal it, that is the problem. That is what I'm saying. It's not your universe of only you, your feelings there that count. If that is all you see, your feelings, life is going to throw at you a lot of misery. You have to learn how to deal with that, and it's only after acceptance of that suffering that you heal. Without that acceptance of the suffering, it is not going to heal. Okay, so we have a lot of contradictions in society at the moment, and I don't know whether younger people, and it's not only young people actually, but younger people have not been brought up, it seems to me, trained, formed spiritually and psychologically to deal with, little by little, with the miseries of life. Okay, and a very good vaccine against that is to be able to teach them self-discipline and self-control. No, you cannot do this now. You have to wait until next week, whatever. Something that goes against their feelings at that particular moment that are not being satisfied, not continuous gratification, as sociologists say. Okay, that you learned self-discipline and self-control, therefore. If they have been overly protective and it's all about themselves, they are not learning about how to deal with life, and then they drown in a drop of water. There is no, why would you think that those people who have voted for this person or this political party or whatever, they have made that choice? Why do you feel that they are evil, that they are there to hurt you, that is something personal against you almost, that they are there to distract society? It's only because you're looking at it from the prism of your own feelings. As I said, reality doesn't give a damn about your feelings. Come out of that cocoon that you have created like a tortoise for yourself, okay, and interact with others. It's easily said than done, because if they haven't been brought up to respect others, the dignity of others, that others exist as well, others with different goals and objectives, okay, if they are not being brought up to think of others, they will inevitably think only of themselves, and the cocoon gets smaller and smaller and smaller. I don't know what the solution for this is. I think it has to be through education. But how are we now to change the whole society and the whole educational? There have been for decades now, certainly since the 60s, we have been going along this path of hedonism, of just ourselves, and that is not the solution. We are going to destroy ourselves like this. We have to go back to teaching our I don't know how to do this, how go back to, look, things are happening in the world to such an extent with these wars and things that I think the world is going to change completely. I think that from 2020 onwards, the world has changed. We are going to have to think again about smaller communities, about organizing society in a different way, in the sense of if we think about our political system, we will have to look at it differently in some sort of way. Things are going to have to change, because in the way that we are going now, in this smaller and smaller and smaller cocoon, we are going to hurt each other tremendously. Each one of us sort of floating around a little bubble here, a little bubble there, a little bubble everywhere, and then try to create society out of that. There has to be a way of saying, this is the bubble, all of us here. I don't see an easy solution. I don't think anyone does. I mean, things have gotten so far. You have to enter into mass psychology but the first step is perhaps to realize that we are not going along the right path, and we better start rethinking how our societies are organized and how we have to deal with each other. We have to come out of thinking that it is just my feelings that count in the world. This is ludicrous. But people are reacting like that to how society is organized, how political parties are organized, and so on. It is not, if I vote for this particular person, it's not because I'm trying to hurt you. I wasn't even thinking of you, okay, or your feelings. my life is a different, I have a different life experience to you. So I choose this side, you choose the other, and society is about how can we come together in some sort of way. Okay, if you think that this is just to hurt you and you just don't know how to react, you don't know how to react because you are not prepared. You haven't been armed to deal with life's wounds and injuries that will come your way. Start thinking outside of yourself. I think I don't know what else to say. Anyway, I said that this was going to be a very short video. I'm thinking about, let me tell you about what I have been reading to do with politics and to do with the church and so on. I went back to reading about all the way back to the Gnostics, to pre-Christian days, how the whole the Gnosticism and the Middle Ages, the secret societies, the Illuminati, the Rosicrucians, the this and the that, how it came to the secret societies of today. I have been reading quite a bit about that, and I just wonder whether you would be interested in me doing a video on that. Would you be interested in secret societies? Because I can do a video on that, sort of summarizing quite. Let me know in the comments if you're interested. If not, I'll do something else. Okay, so no more fluidity, please. We are so fluid that we are disappearing here. Okay, we need to go back to solidity. All right, thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.